Welcome everyone, my name is Emmanuel. I am the owner and trainer here in Lakeline Fit Body Bootcamp. Today we're going to educate you on everything you need to know to be successful on the challenge that kicks off on February 1st. We've broken orientation into 5 sections. At some point during the presentation, I will announce a word of the day. It will be said by me, not typed. This is to ensure you watch the presentation as it is vital for your challenge success. And this will ensure you leave orientation 100% confident, ready to rock and roll on the challenge when it begins on February 1st. Here's what we're going to cover today. In section 1, we're going to introduce the basics of fat loss and ask you to forget everything you think you know about losing weight. We'll introduce the Fit Body nutrition philosophy and explain how and why it works. Section 2 and 3 introduce you to the only 2 things you really need to be successful on the challenge: how to make a meal plan and how to track your food. In section 4, we'll dive into what you can expect from your coach, myself, and Sarah through the challenge. And last but not least, we'll wrap up everything by telling you exactly what you need to focus on when heading into the challenge on Monday. All right, let's get started.
The diet industry is broken. In fact, a staggering 97% of dieters regain everything they lost during their diet and then some within 3 years. Now, who signed up for that? Nobody. That's the bad news. The good news is there is a better way. With the Fit Body Nutrition System, we set you up for long-term success. Let's jump into section 1 to see how. In this section, we'll explore the not-so-secret to long-term fat loss. Now, too often, we make losing weight and keeping it off way harder than it needs to be with unsustainable rules that set us up for failure from the start. The truth is, long-lasting weight loss is actually quite simple. First, the plan needs to be sustainable. If you're hungry and miserable all the time, or if the plan doesn't fit your lifestyle, you won't be able to stick to it for very long, which is why so many people regain the weight after they lose it. Next, for any weight loss program to work, you must be in a calorie deficit, which just means that you need to eat fewer calories than you burn. Now, you could eat the healthiest foods in the world for every single meal, but if you're not in a calorie deficit, you will not lose weight. That's just science. And finally, to lose fat and keep it off, you need to eat enough protein. Protein is what helps you feel full, helps your body preserve lean muscle, which drives your metabolism and helps you maintain the weight loss after you increase your calories again. It's really that simple. As I said, long-lasting weight loss is quite simple. In sections 2 and 3, we're going to cover the only 2 things you need to be successful on the challenge: how to make a meal plan and how to track your food. First, let's learn how to make a meal plan. In your welcome email, you received instructions for how to download and set up the Fit Body coaching app. Your coach used the information you entered into the app, your gender, age, current weight, measurements, and your activity level, to create a daily calorie budget that safely puts you in a calorie deficit while feeding you as many calories as possible. Now remember, our goal is not to starve you by over-restricting your calories. That's just not smart or sustainable. Now, after you receive your daily calorie budget from your coach, you're going to divide that budget into meals. Let's say your daily calorie budget is 1,600 and you decide to evenly divide your calorie budget into 4 meals per day. As you can see here, you'll enjoy 4 400-calorie meals. You don't have to divide the calories evenly across your meals, and you're welcome to eat 4, 5, or even 6 meals per day. Do what works for you. Remember, sustainability is the goal. Likewise, how you spend your daily calorie budget is up to you, but you'll find it easier to stay in a calorie deficit, which leads to fat loss, if you're satisfied and not hungry all the time. Let me show you what I mean. At Fit Body, we think about food the same way we think about money. Food is not good or bad, but there are good and bad investments. For example, foods that fill you up, fuel your workouts, and overall make you feel good are good investment foods. Foods that are void of vitamins and minerals, leave you hungry, and make you feel sluggish are poor investment foods. Makes sense, right? To help guide you to eat more good investment foods, we categorize all proteins, carbohydrates, and fats into 3 categories: eat more, eat some, and eat less. As you can see here, we use a simple green, yellow, red color coding system to help you budget your daily calories. Now, no foods are off limits. You can eat whatever you want. But when you fill up on more of the eat more foods, it'll be much easier to maintain a calorie deficit because you won't feel so hungry. And when you're not hungry, it becomes much easier to walk past the break room donuts. I'm going to show you how to build a 400-calorie meal since I divided my daily calorie budget of 1,600 into 4 400-calorie meals. First, you'll turn to the 400-calorie pages in the Meal Builder Guide. As you can see here, the calories are clearly displayed at the top of each page. For my first 400-calorie meal, I'm going to have a protein shake. I'll find protein powder and measure out 1.7 scoops since that's the serving size listed on the 400-calorie page. Notice here that Truline protein powder is an eat more food. Next, I'm going to choose a carb for my protein shake, so I'll turn to the carb pages within the 400-calorie section of the Meal Builder Guide. A banana sounds good, so I'll measure 4.8 ounces of a banana and add it to my shake. Next, it's time to choose a fat for my protein shake. I'm going to measure out 1.2 tablespoons of nut butter. Together, the protein powder, banana, and nut butter totals 400 calories. Simple, right? Now, after you've chosen your protein, carbohydrate, and fat, write it down in the meal planning and tracking sheet found on the resource site. If you choose an eat more food, write it in the green section. Write all eat some foods in the yellow area and eat less foods in the red space on your meal planning and tracking sheet. By planning your meals using the simple green, yellow, red system, you can easily see where you're spending your daily calorie budget. Again, no foods are off limits, but eating more of the eat more foods will keep you satisfied and feeling great, making it easier to maintain a calorie deficit. If you find yourself feeling hungry, try swapping out some of the eat less foods with eat more food choices from the food list. Now, before we move on, I want to share something important about the food list. As you can see here, all of the fats on the 400-calorie pages are 112 calories. That means I can use any fat that's 112 calories in my protein shake. For example, I could substitute 2.5 cups of unsweetened coconut milk or 2.5 ounces of avocado because they both equal 112 calories, same as the 1.2 tablespoons of nut butter. The same is true of foods that aren't in the food list. Remember, no foods are off limits, so you could pick whatever you want as long as you stick to your daily calorie budget. To determine portion sizes, you should weigh and measure your food whenever possible. This is the most accurate way to ensure you're sticking to the calorie budget that your coach gave you. That wraps up section 2. What questions do you have about how to make a meal plan? Be sure to watch the meal planning video on the resource site for a refresher on how to make a meal plan before the challenge begins. It'll take a little practice, but once you master this important skill, you'll find it much easier to lose weight and keep it off. In this section, we'll cover the other skill you need to be successful on the challenge, and that's how to track your food. Now, by a show of hands, raise your hand if you want to drastically improve your weight loss results and significantly increase the likelihood of maintaining those results long after the challenge ends. Every hand up? Well, I've got good news for you. When you track your food, you will be successful. Here's why. When you track your food, you become more mindful about what, when, and why you're eating. After all, if you know you'll have to track the handful of jelly beans you eat from your coworker's candy dish, you might think twice about eating them. When you track your food, you'll be less apt to overdraft your daily calorie account. Tracking your food also gives your coach insight into how to help you reach your goals. Your nutrition, combined with sticking to your habits, working out, drinking half your body weight in ounces of water every day, and getting good quality sleep, all affect your results. You can track your food in the Fitbit or MyFitnessPal app. Now, both apps are free and available for download on Google Play or in the App Store. The FitBody coaching app defaults to sync with the Fitbit app. However, MyFitnessPal is a little bit more compatible with recipe building. So if you prefer to use the MyFitnessPal app to track your food, just let your coach know. Whichever app you choose, be sure to watch the videos on the resource site for important information about how to use these apps to track your food. Now, tracking your food is a skill that will take a little bit of time to learn, but it's essential to long-term weight loss. So spend the necessary time to learn this essential skill. We recommend printing the meal planning and tracking document from the resource site and plan a day's worth of meals. Once you know what you're going to eat for the day, enter each item into the Fitbit or MyFitnessPal app. We promise, before long, you'll be a food tracking pro. All right, raise your hand if I have your commitment that you'll track your food throughout the challenge. Sounds good. Oh, and one final word on tracking. You might notice when logging foods in the Fitbit or MyFitnessPal app that values for calories, protein, carbs, and some fats may be different inside the app than they appear on the food list. This is due to the vast number of different brands and types of food available in the food logging app's databases. For example, in the food list, shown here on the left, 1 cup of oat milk is 83 calories. On the right, you can see that 1 cup of Pacific Natural Foods oat milk is 20 calories in the MyFitnessPal app. The food that you select may not be the same choice that was chosen for the food list example. Please expect some small discrepancies to appear when tracking. If you track a food that has a large discrepancy like the one shown here, we recommend toggling to a different choice of that food that aligns closer to the values found on the food list.
We'll pause here. Before we go to section number 2, I will announce the word of the day as mentioned in our agenda. The word is legacy.
The best athletes in the world need a coach, and so do you. One of the many things that makes FitBody unlike any gym or fitness program you've tried before is the accountability and support your coach provides. In addition to creating your custom fitness and nutrition plan, your coach will guide, motivate, inspire, and hold you accountable throughout the challenge. Here's what you can expect. Your coach will check in with you every week to see how you're doing with your nutrition, exercise, daily habits, and mindset to ensure you're on track to reach your goals. Every Thursday, your coach is going to email you a link to complete your progress report. Be sure to answer your coach's questions honestly. It's the only way that your coach can help you. Your progress report is due back to your coach by noon on Friday. If you turn your progress report in by noon on Friday, you can expect to hear back from your coach before midnight on Saturday. If you do not turn your progress report in by noon on Friday, your coach will respond to your progress report on Monday. In your weekly progress report, you'll enter your weight and total inches so your coach can track your progress. The program guide on the resource site shows you what measurements to take each week as shown here. The resource site also includes a document that shows you exactly how to take your measurements. You'll take your photos before the challenge begins and again in weeks 3 and 6. You can find best practices for taking your photos on the resource site. You'll submit your before photos along with your after photos in week 6. We'll remind you, don't worry. For now, just take your before photos and hold on to them. And don't worry, we'll never use your photos without your permission. We've covered a lot today, so let's recap what you need to do. Before the challenge begins, make sure you download and set up the FitBody coaching app, complete your initial evaluation, download the Fitbit or MyFitnessPal app to track your food, take your before pictures, engage with your coach, the most successful challengers do, make a commitment to yourself that you can do this. Now, as we wrap up orientation, take a deep breath and remember this. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. It's normal to feel a bit overwhelmed in the beginning, but focus on taking it one step at a time. Too many people let the fear of messing up stop them before they even begin. Commit to yourself today to take the first step and just begin. It won't always be perfect. It won't always be easy, but it will be worth it. And in 6 weeks, you'll be the new you, looking back at today, feeling grateful that you were brave enough to take the first step. Are you ready? Let's do this.
That wraps up orientation. Thank you for watching. We hope it was helpful for you. If you have any questions, please reach out to us on the coaching app. Have a great day and look forward to seeing you all soon.